I'm Hugh from Allprep. We've got the Trom 400 here, and we're going to run through how to do the normal filter cleaning procedure, and then how to change your filters, which is usually done every 300 hours or 12 months. You shouldn't have to remove your filters every day. That's more so when it needs a service. So first of all, doing the filter cleaning procedure, you have your vacuum running down at the motor box. When it's running, you shut the shutter valve up here so it builds up pressure where the filter is, and then flick this toggle switch down so that this filter flap up the top here will open and shut let it do it 5 to 10 times, and then turn the vacuum off, open the shutter valve at the same time. That way it releases the dust off the filter and drops into the bag. Then you can flick the toggle switch up. And another thing, just so that the dust falls off the filter more, is you give this flap where the longo pack bag is, give that a bang, just to loosen up the dust on the filter and help it drop into the bag. Now that we've done the filter clean, we'll go through and change the filters. So we put locking bolts and nuts on the filter latches so that not just anyone can get in and tamper with the filters. So start off by loosening them off. So there's one on each side, or the older model has 3 latches. And at this point, this is a new vacuum, but your vacuum has probably had a concrete dust through it. So it's important to wear the proper PPE, your face mask. If you've got another vacuum, put the hose in where the vacuum inlet is, so that when you open this top up and pull the filter out, you're not having dust go everywhere. So this is the top part where the HEPA filter is. That should be fully clean. There shouldn't be any dust in there. On the new models, they've got this top filter cover. So you slide that round and then lift it out. The older models don't have that, so we'll keep that for when we put it back together again. So now we've got the main filter in here. This can be a little bit harder to get out because of the seal. So I find if you loosen it, push down on the bottom half of the filter, just to release that seal. And obviously, if you've got a vacuum in here, you might have to take the vacuum out so it's not building up pressure. To pull the main filter out, if you put a bag over the top, that way when you pull the filter out, it goes straight into the bag, seals off any of the concrete dust that's going to fall off, like that. And we can seal that up and dispose it so it's contained. At this point, there may be concrete dust on the top here. That needs to be cleaned off. And also, when you pull the HEPA filter out, that needs to be clean as well. This has got quite a good seal, so if you pull one half at a time, carefully slide it off. Obviously, this is a new one. Before you put any of the filters on, give it a good wipe with a wet wipe, so that you get any of the dust off. There shouldn't be any dust in here, but if you give it a spray with silicone spray, that way it encapsulates any of the concrete dust and makes it easier to get rid of. So give that a wipe, and it should look as new, so there shouldn't be any dust. Like if someone has pulled the filter out incorrectly and dust has got into the motors, that needs to be all cleaned out properly, pull that all apart, otherwise you'll wreck your motors. So once it's clean, you push your HEPA filter in, and it's important to make sure it's pressed on properly so that the seal is correctly sealing against the filter housing. So that's on. Then you put the main filter in. So same thing, carefully seat it in, press it in tight so that the seal is resting in properly. Then we put the top filter plate on, make sure there's no dust on, slide it around, put the top HEPA cover on, and it's important to be careful not to damage the HEPA filter on these 2 tags. So carefully locate it down, and then put the 2 latches back on both sides. And it's important that they're firm so it creates a proper seal. Then put the 2 bolts back in on both sides, tighten them up so that no one else can tamper with the filters. And then your vacuum's ready to go. Do another 300 hours or 12 months of work. Trust that helps, and look forward to seeing you next time.